Hello. Today I'll be talking about the article that you see on the screen. So, the US government just announced a bailout package of $50 billion, bailing out all the major airlines, US airlines. And the airlines are still saying that even after the bailout, which is so big that the crisis is much bigger than this. I mean, this is not going to help them get out of the crisis. So, why is that? Because this isn't going to save the industry unless we get back in business to flying people. Because right now the airlines are flying empty planes. Okay, so this crisis is just uh, bringing out the old wounds, which people are really trying to understand at this point. So what I mean by that is people will feel very afraid to travel after this crisis ends. And the fun part about this is that most of the major airlines in America, they indulge in stock buybacks. Okay, so if you don't know what stock buybacks are like the profit that the company gets in any quarter. They can use it for two to three things. One, they can just give incentives to their employees, and so that their employees can be with the company for a long time. Second, they can give incentives to the executives, which are like the CEOs and CFOs. And third, they can just buy back their own stock. So when a company buys back its own stock, what that does is that it just increases the value of the company. And that's like a false value. So that's like a balloon that is inflated with fake air into it. So and all the major US airlines like Delta, Southwest, or what else, American Airlines, all of these indulge in stock buybacks. And right now they are literally asking the government, and not just asking but just threatening the government to bail them out. And if the government doesn't bail them out, they will go bankrupt. So this is called as too big to fail. Okay, so it's like the industries are so big that if the airline industry fails, it is going to take down the entire US economy with it. So this is exactly like the 2008 crisis, where Lehman Brothers and Citigroup were just so big that if they failed, the entire US economy would just tank down. So, and while this is happening, the bailout package is like almost 50 billion US dollars, which is just insane number, to be honest, to start with. Many small businesses in America are struggling to even get by. Okay, so the government bails out big companies that don't invest in their employees, that just don't have any reserve fund, that don't have any savings to start with, and they just keep on borrowing money because they know that the government is just going to bail them out. When the time comes, the government is just going to print money and bail them out. They know that. That's why most of the big banks don't even care about how much loans they have in the bank accounts. So this is the tragedy of the vulture capitalistic system that US employs. And US as a country has literally become like an oligopoly. So it's not a democracy anymore, it's like an oligopoly. What I mean by that is a few handful of rich people literally dominate the entire country. So and the majority of the people don't have absolutely anything. So most of the small businesses are just going to go bankrupt in this. Okay, so literally 6 out of 10 restaurants in America are going to close down forever in this crisis. So they are not going to come back. Even if the crisis ends tomorrow, they are just not going to come back, because it's not like just it's not like a button that you just on and off as you wish. Opening and closing a restaurant business or a hotel industry is not a child's play. Okay, it takes years and years of planning. It takes years and years of building relationships with the suppliers, and it's a big deal. Okay, and so government is bailing out the huge corporations which indulge in very shady practices, and they are completely ignoring the small mom and pop stores. These are called like the mom and pop stores because they are like the family run businesses that just are handed down from generation to generation, and they are the ones who literally run the country. So if you look at the US economy, just 5% of the companies are big corporations, but the rest 95% are MSMEs. So like medium and small scale industries, which are like anything that people just start a store down the road, and they sell something, or people just start a company and operate it from their house. So this is really something that I've been seeing in the US going on for long time. This is exactly what it is called, like vulture capitalism. Okay, so what the vulture does is that it just preys on the dead. Okay, and so it doesn't even leave the dead. So that's what it is called, like the vulture. This is like capitalism for that works only for the rich people. Okay, it definitely does not work for the normal guy, or the middle class people that are on the ground. And that is also one of the reasons why people are just so upset with the US politics. So this is exactly what was happening in the 2008 crisis. In the 2008 crisis, the government bailed out almost all the major banks. Okay, Citibank, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Merrill Lynch, what else, like Goldman Sachs. All of these banks were bailed out by the US government in 2008. And after that, they're just practicing the exact same things. And because they know, if the push comes the shove, the government is just going to bail them out again. So the same thing with the airlines, like they are literally threatening the government to bail them out, otherwise they will just stop their operations. And because they know that they have become so big that if they stop their operations, the entire US economy will come to a halt. Okay, like if the government just lets all these companies fail at this point, it's just after this crisis ends, there will be no airlines in the US. Okay, so people will not be able to fly from one place to another, because in the US, domestic travel accounts for a major chunk of the US economy. Okay, like people travel domestically way often than they do internationally in the US. So that's why the government knows that they have to bail these people out. And this is just this is something that I've been seeing in the US for the past 10 plus years now, uh, where the small people are left behind. The people who have built their business for the past 20 years, trying to set up small shops, and starting from just a one man show to building up, say 100 to 200 people in the company. All of them are just left out of this madness, and the big corporations are getting the bailouts of this. So that's why I think US is literally on the way down as we go through the century. And the Asian countries will definitely rise, because over there, if you look at China. Okay, in China there is state capitalism. Okay, so the state has a huge control over the economy, but at the same time, they don't let uh, companies become so big that they will be able to dictate what the government does. So this is in America. What has happened is that um, the corporations run the country. Okay, it's not like the country has corporations, and or the country has to put rules on the corporation. The corporations run the country. So Microsoft, Amazon, or say these big airlines like United Airlines, Delta Airlines, Southwest Airlines, these run the country. Okay, they make the decisions on behalf of the government. So that's why if they are so much into the pocket of the government, then definitely they are not going to take decisions that are going to be in favor of the small guy. Okay, so in China, I think I'm not praising the Chinese system as such, but all I'm saying is that at least in China, the government has an iron fist. Okay, and they can dictate what the corporations do. Okay, and same thing in India as well. Okay, in India, corporations don't have so much power that they can just dictate everything. So I think these two systems are really good. But in America, the corporations run the country. Okay, and it's a maddeningly insane thing. And the the kind of behavior that I've come to experience from most of the American people is that they don't want the government to interfere into their lives. So like socialism is like a very a no word in America. Okay, like something called socialism or communism is just not acceptable in America. So there are no unions in America. Okay, so they don't want the government to, even the small people, they don't want government intervention into their lives. Now just look at Canada. Okay, Canada is a socialist country. Okay, so government really interferes too much into people's lives, but somehow people like that. Okay, but not in America. And that's what you get when the government is just not at all in control. The corporations are in control, and they are running the system. The corporations are literally running the entire industry, the entire country. Sorry. So that's my analysis of what just happened, because this just happened like a few hours back. And this is going to have long-term implications on the airline industry, in the US politics, and the worldwide politics, and world order, to be honest, as we are approaching the new world order. And you know as the old way of doing things starts getting erased, and the new markets, emerging markets, and emerging economies start taking shape, this will be an interesting ride. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for listening. Please like and comment, and subscribe to my channel if you want to hear more videos like these. And hit the bell icon so that you can get the notification of every video that I put into this channel. Thank you.